Hey guys, James here with Waterford Business Solutions. And we wanted to kind of start a new series about talking about different accounting softwares. There's a lot of different programs out there, and there's one for everyone. And just because we talk a lot about QuickBooks and QuickBooks Online, QuickBooks Desktop, etc., doesn't mean that it's the right fit for everyone. So we wanted to start a new series here, kind of go through everything, talk about the pros, cons, information on all of these, etc., to work through exactly what may or may not be a good fit for you. This is going to be a multi-week series here, covering multiple different things. We may take some pauses in between here to handle some other different discussions as we go throughout, just to kind of keep up with some errors or things that we need to make sure that are being taken care of for you throughout, not just going over these different softwares. This week, though, we're going to start with QuickBooks Online versus Xero. Before we jump in here, I do invite you to go ahead and subscribe to our channel, turn on notifications, hit that bell icon, because like I said, this is going to be a multi-week discussion that we have. It's going to allow you to kind of compare different softwares. Maybe you're looking for a software, maybe you're using one right now, and you're trying to figure out, well, what is the pros, what do I need to have here, etc. So we're going to go through multiple different ones, but having this pricing and the setup here of getting notified with us, it's really going to help you out with a lot of different things here. With Xero, honestly, customers coming to me that are against Intuit or against QuickBooks, Xero is generally where I send them. It's a very robust program. It's probably the most similar with same ease of use situation at the end of the day. And really, when we take a look at Xero, it's probably the most similar to kind of what QuickBooks Desktop used to be. Rather than being as transactional based as QuickBooks Online has moved, which you can still use QuickBooks Online in a general ledger mode, and they do have a very simple accounting version of QuickBooks Online with general ledger. Xero is much more where it's focused on that quick entry, the accounting entry, using your bank register, your bank ledger to enter everything to get a lot done so that it's quote unquote quicker. Now, is it as simple? Depends on your viewpoint. For clients that have never done accounting before, we generally find the step-by-step that QuickBooks Online provides is going to be a cleaner, better, user-friendly experience for them. But for clients that are used to QuickBooks Desktop or used to manual entry platforms, Sage maybe, things like that, then Xero is going to honestly be a great option for you. They do a lot feature-wise too. One of the features that I really like that they have is an asset tracker. It's not something that exists in QuickBooks Online without being on their top tier version, which is honestly ridiculously expensive, where it guides you through a workflow of putting in what you bought it at, putting in the loan that you have on it, the depreciation schedules, everything like that, so that with one entry, granted multiple different pages, but one entry, it allows you to go ahead and create the asset on your balance sheet, the liability on your balance sheet, and set up automatic depreciation on that asset. That's not something that exists in base level QuickBooks, and well, it's kind of sad. There's a lot of other features that are similar, better in some ways, not better in others. It just really depends. Both systems, you're able to connect your bank accounts and have live bank feeds and live bank registers come in to make data entry easier. Both systems you can invoice through and take payments through. Both you can claim expenses. Xero has an integration with, well, now they own it, a program called HubDoc. QuickBooks also has that integration, don't get me wrong. And HubDoc is a program that we use even for all of our clients with QuickBooks, because rather than QuickBooks receipt tracking system, it's a lot better of a system. You don't have to be a user in QuickBooks to use it. You don't have to be a user in QuickBooks to push stuff over, so it creates separation there. There's also the bank reconciliations, and it's kind of auto reconciles, kind of like QuickBooks does with its bank clearing and everything like that, but makes it a lot easier. You can pay bills through everything. You can do some like project tracking through it. Gusto integrates with it, which is great. You can run purchase orders, do a lot of reporting and everything through it. Pretty much very similar to the amount of reports that you can pull in QuickBooks. Maybe not quite as many, but still a good bit there. You can track your inventory, and honestly, for a built-in system, I think Xero's inventory system is better. Now, there's better third-party systems there, don't get me wrong, but you definitely can do it. Your sales tax, multi-currency filing, online file storage, data capture, a lot of that stuff you can really get into, and it provides some nice graphical stuff just like QuickBooks Online does, along with having an app that you can use there. All of this is very similar to what you have in QuickBooks. Where they shine over QuickBooks is really going to be the receipt tracking and the integration with HubDoc and the fixed asset manager, the different view or the different look of it, and arguably simpler and easier to use look of it, which is definitely a much nicer feature in my opinion, just depending on how you look at it. I would say Xero is much more professionally accountant friendly compared to QuickBooks Online being more end user friendly. Now, as a counter to that, where QuickBooks shines, we're going to be looking at much better app selection. The App Store with Xero, while it is very robust, the App Store with QuickBooks Online is way larger, way more out there. If we're talking big industry apps like House Call Pro, Service Titan, Jobber, Notify, all of those are pretty much QuickBooks Online exclusive integrations because QuickBooks is the gold standard. Sadly, that's going to be a running theme that you're going to see in this discussion is those integrations, they're only going to really integrate with QuickBooks Online. That's going to be a major thing for it. Bill pay workflows. Natively, QuickBooks' bill pay workflow is much better. Doesn't mean you can't integrate a third-party application with Xero to make it better, but that's a potential extra expense. So definitely something that we want to keep in mind there. Project tracking, whole lot better. Non-native inventory tracking. The programs and the amount of applications that you have there with QuickBooks, much better. And reporting wise, while Xero has a ton of reports, QuickBooks is going to have more and they're going to be more customizable. The other huge benefit that you run into with Xero, at least in my opinion, is with QuickBooks over Xero, let me define that. The other big benefit that you run into with QuickBooks Online versus Xero is end user friendliness. It's a much cleaner, much more modern integration or workflow, much more modern display, which makes it a little bit clearer and easier to use there. So if that's what you're looking for, QuickBooks is going to be a better option. Pricing wise, Xero comes in fairly similar to QuickBooks. Keeping in mind QuickBooks has multiple tiers. You've got your Simple Start, your Essentials, your Plus, your Advanced. Xero has the same 3 tiers there. Most clients are going to really need their middle tier there. And when we're talking that middle tier, you're looking at about $55 a month. It does come in slightly lower, and do bear in mind these prices are as of mid-2026 here. It does come in slightly lower than QuickBooks Essential and way lower than QuickBooks Plus, but you are going to have some different reductions there in the tracking projects, your inventory going on, your KPIs and analysis there, etc. So you may have to, depending on your business, move up to their top tier plan, which is $90 a month. At that point, you are looking at very similar pricing to QuickBooks there. At the end of the day, with QuickBooks Online versus Xero, I'll sadly have to say for 90% of clients, QuickBooks Online is probably going to be the better bet. And that's solely because it is, well, the most integrated. It's got the most external apps, and it will allow you to expand your ecosystem to fit your exact needs way more than Xero will. As always, guys, thank you. Join us next week to go over Wave, and we'll enjoy going through that. If you want to be notified, go ahead and subscribe to our channel, turn on the notification icon here so that we can go ahead and notify you next week when that comes out. And if you need guidance on what system to buy or use, reach out to us here at Waterford Business Solutions by giving us a call at 864-351-0852 or shooting us an email at info@waterfordbusiness.com.